Hey everyone, it's Christian from the Calcio Bros. I am doing a audio video just for a little while. My live reactions, of course, will be visual, but just, with school and everything, I just don't have the time to edit a video. It's much easier with an audio. So I hope you guys enjoy this as much as you enjoy our other videos. I will get right to a recap, and we'll start with the first game on Saturday. And as we know, there are 3 games on Saturday, with the first one being Udinese-Roma. One thing about this game, I don't know if any of you guys had the same issue, is that there was no commentary. So that really made the game feel less real in a way, because you want to have that commentator to excite you to get into the game as well. And I don't know, we found that it just didn't add to the level of intensity it should have had. Getting towards the result though, Udinese lost at home to Roma 2-0. Goals from Under and Perotti. Under, the young Turk, scores again. This young lad is on fire. He continues to perform, and he is given the chance by Di Francesco nowadays after his performance. I believe now that's 3-4 goals in his last 3 games, give or take. Like he's playing really well, and he's really showing it because he's been given the chance by Di Francesco, and he's repaying the faith that he provides to him. And Udinese are now struggling after such a hot start from Massimiliano. Now they're losing the game here and there. We didn't feel like they would go the rest of the season undefeated, but now this really could dampen them if they want to try hitting that Europa League spot. But this was an important victory for the Giallorossi as they want to keep going. They did pass Inter now. Roma want to get to that Champions League spot, and by getting this victory, this is just what they need to regain their spot and get into that top 4. And this was, again, just an important victory for them. Next game, guys, is Chievo-Cagliari. This was basically a battle from the bottom of the table, and both teams looking to get those points to stay away from the bottom. As we know, Cagliari have been in a poor run of 4, and they just couldn't get themselves. They had 4 with this win. They had now 1 win in their last 5, so maybe this will get them to keep going, keep winning. With this win too, they even got 11 points with Cagliari, which was important. They keep away from the drop. Goals were scored by Giaccherini and Inglese, just 2 minutes apart for Chievo, while Pavoletti tries to bring one back later on for the Sardinian team, but that doesn't seem to happen as they couldn't get that equalizing goal. And again, an important point for the Flying Donkeys. What they needed, what they want to do to stay out. And now this also adds pressure to Cagliari. They want to win their next few games to even stay away from the bottom. And they didn't get the points they needed to move up the table at all. Last game on Saturday was Genoa-Inter. And the Nerazzurri, I guess it cost you guys for playing with Ranocchia. But I guess it wasn't entirely his fault for the own goal. As we see, own goal from Ranocchia, and Goran Pandev, the ex-Inter man, scores. Genoa win 2-0. This was another damp in their form, as we saw. After winning last weekend, you would think Inter could maybe put 2 positive results back to back, but it doesn't look like they can. I don't know. Perin has really helped Genoa. You have injury. He's had so many injuries where it has cost him playing time in his development. But now with this, he's really helping Genoa pick up points. Ballardini, since taking over, has done an exceptional job. Since he has taken over, he has given Genoa 24 points, which is unbelievable. And only Juve and Napoli have done better in that time. So it's good to see he's turning Genoa into something else, another team that's been able to pick up points. I can see that they will probably stay up if they continue like this. And again, like I said, Perin has been important because he earns another clean sheet, and that is great because He's great. He's a good goalie and deserves his playing time, deserves recognition, and it's glad that his injuries haven't taken a toll on him. But again, this also does add to Inter's problems as they can string back-to-back wins. And I don't know what it is if it's the players, the management, if Spalletti's at fault. I can't really say. There's just so many issues there that need to be resolved. Maybe it's a formation change. I can't tell for sure. There's just a lot of issues here for the Nerazzurri, and let's see what they can do to resolve it. And I'm just hoping they can, because that way, if Milan keep winning, we can pass them. But that's just me. Again, I would like to see Inter in Champions League because for me, Italy's top 3 teams for Europe is Juve, Milan, and Inter. That's for me always. But lately, as we know, it's been different because of the circumstances with some of these teams. Opening up Sunday now is the Derby della Mole, which is Torino, Juventus, and Juve got the win here. A 1-0 victory only. That's all they can come with. An Alexandro goal in the 33rd minute. Not much I can say here. Just Juve, again, got the victory they needed to put pressure on Napoli for the Serie A title. And again, this was really, really important for them to get this. They need to put on the pressure because they know one Napoli slip up with a victory from them, and they can go away with the league. That I could probably see coming. But Torino, unfortunately, couldn't get a point. They did play well enough to only keep it at 1-0. And I don't know if you guys saw, there was videos coming out of Chiellini, basically hitting Belotti in the face. Ref didn't see nothing, I believe he said he saw something, and there was no foul. They didn't even use VAR. But now there's rumors of it's going to go to the TV review to see if they will actually be suspending Chiellini for that. I will keep you guys updated on Twitter if there is something to that. Keep an eye out, I guess, for that, if we know if he will be suspended or not. But I feel, I guess because he wasn't bleeding, like what happened with the Bonucci elbow back in Milan Genoa. Maybe that's why they didn't, review anything. But again, that's still something. If the ref's right there and you fully see a hand, an arm go and hit the player in the face, you should stop and call it a foul. I don't know what else to say to that. We move now on to the 9 a.m. games. There was only 3 of them that day because, again, we had later games on Sunday. Napoli winning 1-0 only to Spal, and that again, they didn't care how they got it. They just want to play a better game than they did against Red Bull Leipzig during the week in Europe after losing 3-1 at home. They just want to come back in victory and make sure they stay on top of Serie A. They did their job through a goal from Alan early on, and they just only hanged on to an early 1-goal lead. And then, I don't know if you guys saw, Hamšík scored. He went and celebrated, kicked the corner flag out of position, got a yellow card, but the goal was disallowed for an offside. So it was pretty funny that he got a yellow card pretty much for nothing. What are you going to do? Spal lose another game, and that hurts their chances of staying up. They remain in the bottom 3 with Verona and Benevento. They're not that far off. They're only 4 points behind Crotone, but they couldn't get away with anything here at the San Paolo. Napoli were too much for them. Bologna Sassuolo 2-1 win for Bologna. This was a big win for them. They managed to pull themselves away from the rest of the bottom while Sassuolo's struggles keep on continuing. Goals were scored by Poli at the 12th. Babacar tying it up for Sassuolo just before halftime, and then Pulgar with a stunning free kick scores very late at the 88th minute to give Bologna the victory. As we know, Verdi was not playing because he is still out injured. So it's hard when you have a player that's, one of your best players and you got to play without him. It's very tough, but at least Donadoni managed to get his team together, got the players that he needed, and he did get the victory and just was able to pull himself just under the top 10. That's probably where they want to be. They're not a European side, but they want to at least get that mid-table range, and that's where they are. That's where they want to be, and get themselves away from everyone else. Last game in the morning was Benevento Crotone. This was a very, very entertaining game. I actually wish I watched this one. Benevento coming away with a win, 3-2. Unbelievable. Crotone, I don't know what I can say. You guys couldn't get the victory, but Benevento came clutch, getting a goal late on to help them. I know it's very hard to say if they will stay up, but it is an important point. So they are 11 points away from Crotone, but if they keep picking up the 3 points here and there, they could maybe not finish last. They can probably finish ahead of Verona and Spal, and being able to maybe climb out of there. We will see. For Benevento, their goals were scored by Sandro, who scores his first for Benevento, Viola, and Diabate late on to get the winner at the 89th minute. Goals were scored for Crotone by Crociata and Benali. Benali's having a great run under Crotone. Zenga really been able to get the most out of him after coming in the January window. Crociata, the Milan player, ex-Milan player who did leave over the summer. I remember seeing him at Milanello actually just before he got signed by Crotone. He managed to score his first in Serie A, and he's getting playing time here. Glad to see he's being used and being able to develop a little bit more, which is good. But again, this doesn't help Crotone too much as they couldn't steal a point away from Benevento, but are able to maintain a gap over Verona and Spal. It's only by 4 points. Not much, but they would have liked that extra point. We have our midday game, guys. Two teams, very different spots on the table. Well, they're a little close, but one team fighting for Europe, one team just trying to have a consistent season, and that is Atalanta-Fiorentina. Fiorentina took the lead with Badelli, and then Petagna scores in injury time in the first half to tie it up. Very close games. Both teams had their chances. We do see that Milinkovic got sent off late on in the game. 2 yellows in 2 minutes. And again, I've said this before. If you know you're on a yellow, why did you do stupid fouls to get yourself a second yellow and hurt your team? That to me is just idiotic. You're not thinking. I know you're in the moment, but that is something you guys have to, some players have to think. Especially if they do it early on in the game, that really dampens the chance to have your team win the game. You leave your side in 10 men for almost a whole game. That's something else. But I know his was late on, but it's just the fact that he got 2 yellows in 2 minutes. To me, that's just idiotic. Just very, very idiotic. Now, last game on Sunday was Milan-Sampdoria. Milan came away with the victory here. Gattuso has really done something with this team. That is their 10th game unbeaten in all competitions. This is great. Milan, I'm glad to see you guys are climbing up the table. You will probably be able to get your Champions League spot. Hopefully. There are still a lot of teams they have to play, and this next few weeks will be important for them as they do play Roma next week, Inter the week after. They have Lazio in their Coppa Italia, so it is a crucial time right now, and these points are important against Sampdoria, who are just above them. They go level on this. Rodriguez missed a penalty early on. It was a very poor penalty in my opinion. He just shot it too close in the middle, too soft. He should have just done better and aimed it maybe a little more in the corner and a little harder so Viviano wouldn't get an easy save. And then shortly after, Bonaventura scores a great volley, which Viviano maybe should have held because it did go right under him, but it was a wonderful worked goal. Çalhanoğlu lobbed it 50 yards, give or take, with his left foot to Suso. I'm not surprised, but it was just amazing. It was such an amazing play, and I'm glad to see this team is really coming together. Gattuso's bringing the best out of some of his players, like Suso, Bonaventura, Çalhanoğlu, the list just goes on. He's really turned this team into something, and Milan do get their 3rd consecutive clean sheet. I know there's another bit of controversy in this one because there's a supposed Calabria handball and they're going under VAR. Very debatable, but VAR couldn't do anything Calabria may have been in the box, but his hand was outside, so VAR couldn't give anything. Could have been a free kick there. I know it was very tough for the ref to see, but there's nothing to that. Nothing came of it, which maybe could have affected the game. But Sampdoria, the whole game, didn't do much. They only got the one chance very late on. Even Quagliarella tried shooting from half, didn't help, but they barely had any chances. Milan played well defensively and just keep on getting the important victories. Last game, which was played on the Monday, was Lazio-Verona. Lazio, after losing 3 consecutive games, needed this win to rebound their season, and they did that. Immobile gets 2 goals after the half, and he regains his scoring touch. He still is the capocannoniere with 22 goals now, and this was an important victory as they managed to they passed Inter themselves and get into that 4th spot. That's where they want to be. They want to get that Champions League spot. Remember, we do have 4 spots this year, so they want to get into the last spot. And this even piles more pressure on Verona because they couldn't get anything away. They, again, lose another point. We may see them in the bottom because I don't think they will be able to get victories against some of other top teams. Well, I don't want to say that for sure. I guess nothing's ever written in stone. But if they don't get victories, they will not be able to stay alive and pass Spal, Crotone, just get points to stay out of there. Very tough to say. They're not picking up points where they need to be like some of the other teams. Simone Inzaghi again too want to rebound after Lazio did lose 1-0 in the week against Steaua Bucuresti. And they did that right here. So it's good to see that Lazio managed to get the victory and be able to just climb up again, climb up and be where they want to be. We will take a look at these standings now, the top half of the table. Not many changes here. As we said, top two remain the same. There's only the changes in the Champions League area, as Roma and Lazio are there ahead of Inter. It's still pretty tight there, because an Inter win will see them pass Roma if those two teams, Roma and Lazio, if those two teams lose their next game, considering Roma will play Milan and Sassuolo will host Lazio. But Inter, again, they are playing Benevento, and Benevento can be very tricky. So anything can go here if they can get the victory. Milan, with their win, they go tied with Sampdoria. Unfortunately, Milan couldn't get away with the 2-0, because that would have tied the head-to-head, and then it would have gone on goal differential. But if it does finish like that, Sampdoria will finish ahead of Milan, because they did win 2-0 at the Ferraris earlier in the season. But nonetheless, Milan are picking up points and climbing up. They remain 7 points behind Inter for that 5th spot, while they remain 8 points behind Lazio for that last Champions League spot. So Milan are getting there. They could probably do if they keep playing well, and if Gattuso manages to get his team to continue performing well. And he always wants to get the best out of his players. Torino and Udinese holding on to the last couple spots there. Even Atalanta just remaining 3 points behind Milan. It's still very close there, but it's hard to say who's going to finish where. A lot of games still left to play, a lot of points still to be picked up. Not much. Again, the teams at the 8 to 10, they want to sort of stay there. Not they want to stay there. They're trying to get up there, but it doesn't seem like they may get the Europa League spot, considering how informed the other teams are. But I will say Atalanta will probably be the one closest to try getting there because of how well they play. It's still tough to see who will finish where. For the bottom table, not much changes, as just Kiev will move up a little bit. They go tie points with Cagliari. Genoa keep moving up the standings. They go 2 points behind Fiorentina, just outside the top 10. With important victory, like I said, Ballardini managed picking up 24 points, and this is another important victory for them. They go on a 3-game winning streak, and I can't believe it. They are really riding high, and this is just how they want to play. Bottom 3 still looking the same with Spal, Verona, and Benevento, but Benevento only 7 points away from Spal. Again, only 11 points behind Crotone. It's still a bit of a distance, but if Crotone keep losing points while Benevento keeps getting that odd 3 points here and there, they will pass them. And who knows? Benevento are a very tricky side. They have stunned some people, and I'm still speaking of that Milan draw, but it's hard to say how these teams will finish up, because remember, Verona beat Fiorentina 4-1 a couple weeks back. Anything can happen, guys, so just look out for it. Like I said, anything will happen, and it's hard to say who will be relegated for sure. Sassuolo is even looking like they could even go down if they don't get their season back on track. Really hard to say. Also, let me know, guys, where you think or who you think will be relegated or not. With that, we go into player of the week, and I'm going to give that to Ciro Immobile, just because he managed to get 2 goals to help Lazio fire back into victory, and getting his 2 goals to continue his scoring run, or to get back into his scoring run and remain capocannoniere now with 22 goals, and an important day for him. So hopefully he can keep on scoring and show why he's like a really good striker. I know he's proving it with Lazio and not much with Italy, but still it's helping to feel confident and manage to score. Goal of the weekend, there were some really nice goals, but I'm going to go with Shenji's Under. I'm not even sure if I'm saying his name right, but he scored another wondrous thunderbolt against Udinese. This guy does not want to stop scoring screamers, and I guess he just wants to do it. You score one and you want to keep on trying, so it's good for him for doing that and giving us another wondrous goal to watch. Keep on going, because you definitely have a future here at Roma if you decide to stay, so try not to leave. Let's see how long he will stay, though. If he does stay, good on him, but let's see how long he will remain at the club, because I know a lot of teams will be wanting to get his signature. We have 2 games on Saturday. They are Bologna-Genoa, Inter Benevento. Bologna-Genoa, I feel going to be interesting if Genoa can continue their run of form, while Bologna, they finally get a victory. If they win, they're not far from each other. They're tied points. So whoever wins, will move past each other and bring the other down. They both want to keep their good run of form, I guess, going. And let's see who will come up on top. For sure, it'll be an interesting. Sometimes always the random games can always be the interesting one. Maybe sometimes boring, but they can also be very interesting at the same time. Inter hosting Benevento. Like, I don't know what to say about this game. The Nerazzurri are really lacking some sort of identity now. Benevento maybe want to use their confidence after winning their last game, perhaps pulling an upset. As we said, as I've said in another video, Benevento have no away points. So if they come away with something, it will be history for them. That's for sure. But will it be 1 point or 3 points? We will have to see on Saturday, because that for sure is going to be a test for Benevento and a test for Inter if they can beat a team in the bottom of the table. Sunday, guys, is 6:30. It's Crotone Spal, a battle of the bottom of the table. As I said before, only 4 points separate these two. We have 4 9 a.m. games. Fiorentina Chievo, Sampdoria Udinese, Sassuolo Lazio, and Verona Torino. Biggest game there is, I would say, Sampdoria Udinese. Both teams are in pretty good run of form, and this will really help them if they want to get the points to secure their spot, finish where they want to be in the standings. Sampdoria want to, pull themselves away from Milan, so they want to look to get the win, while Udinese just want to win again after 2 consecutive defeats. Like I said, although he can only work so much, but then it'll later hit that it's not the best team, but it was a good team, and his run wouldn't be able to go forever, and he just wants to get his team winning. So Lazio looking to even get crucial points against Sassuolo, who are struggling, and this could help them maintain pressure on Roma and perhaps get that 3rd spot too. We'll have to see, because Sassuolo can still be tricky, but they haven't done well enough to get anything out from anyone. 12 p.m. game is Juve-Atalanta. Big game there. Atalanta have always fared well against some of the bigger teams, and they can probably get a decent result maybe in turn. It will be very difficult considering how tough it is to play at the Allianz Stadium. Juve want to again put on the pressure to Napoli, because again, one slip up could cost them. But if Atalanta can manage to pull some type of result at Juve, Napoli need a win, and they can pull a good 3 points ahead and even put on more pressure for Juventus. So this will be a crucial game, because Napoli are always looking to see what Juve do and to know if they have to win. I know Napoli want to keep on winning themselves, but just to see how well, because they know one slip up from Juve, and if Napoli win, they can really take the Scudetto. They can really believe that the Scudetto is theirs. Ending off the Sunday is Roma-Milan. This will be a really, really big game and another test for Gattuso. This is where we will see what he is made of. Again, as we said, he has Roma this week and Inter next week. Roma on much better form than Inter was when Milan last played them. So this will be a lot tougher, and they are playing at the Olimpico, where Milan hasn't fared too well in recent years. But the way they're playing, they could surprise a few, and they want to keep going so they can close the gap on their city rivals, and as well as Lazio too. And Roma also want to take this win because they want to stay at front of Lazio. I know they're not going to finish close to Juve or Napoli, but they want to keep that 3rd spot as their own and make sure they get the points needed to pull away from Lazio, while Milan are looking to get the points they need to put themselves in the top 4. Maybe even the 5th, but I feel they definitely want to get that Champions League spot, and the way Gattuso's playing, they could probably get it if they get these crucial victories, and these next 2 games will be crucial for them for sure. Also stay tuned, guys, because we will be having a live reaction between me and my brother, so it'll be an interesting one too to see how we react with each other during the game. It is our first live reaction together, and we'll see how it goes. There won't be any brotherly love there. And round 26 is Cagliari-Napoli. Cagliari really struggling now, and especially playing a hot Napoli. It'll be tough to contain them, and I know Cagliari are at home, but Napoli are, again, like I said, on 9-game winning streak. They have the confidence. They want to get that 10th and keep maintaining their lead atop Serie A and being able to go away with the league. They want the Scudetto so bad. They want to maintain. That's their only focus right now, and this win will be crucial for them. So that's all for today, guys. Let me know, agree with my goal of the weekend, player of the weekend. If you guys are also looking forward to Roma-Milan as well, like we are, we want to see what other game you're looking forward to. If you agree with my thoughts as well, comment below, let me know. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Calcio_Bros, and subscribe on YouTube for more Calcio content. We'll hear from you guys soon. Ciao.